together every week to talk about the latest in gaming news. I'm joined today, as I am every week, by my good friends Parky and Kyle.
Hey, bud.
Yo.
How are you both? We good?
Living the dream, man. Living the dream.
Fabulous. How are you, Kyle?
Yep, doing alright, surviving. As every week.
Always on the side, like.
Well, we'll start as we do every week. What are we playing? Kyle. Yeah, I usually start with Parky.
Yeah,
Kyle,
start with Kyle. Fucking hell.
because I know what Parky's playing.
Yeah. I'm still playing Days Gone at the moment. That's all I've been into.
Good.
And I've recently gone a bit sort of askew because you were talking about Dragon Quest 11, I think it was, a lot recently. And I remember playing Dragon Quest 8, back in the day for the PS2. And I remembered that I had the 3DS copy of it, so I've just been doing a little bit of, passive handheld gaming in the background.
Oh, interesting. So, despite all my pleas for you to carry on Dragon Quest 11, you decided no.
Yeah,
I will not do that.
From the beginning. Yeah.
I'm going to start on a completely different game.
Correct.
Commend you for that. That's brave. Arky. Know what you're gonna say. We're gonna talk about this in depth later.
It's gonna be there. It's gonna be the thing.
Yeah.
SIFU. What a game.
SIFU is exquisite. Is the best.
Nobody thought it would amount to anything, but goddamn.
Oh my god.
It's
the
there.
best indie game I've played in years.
It slaps you in the face. It makes you want more. It's beautiful.
It's so good. But we'll talk about that more later. What are we looking forward to? I know what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to Horizon Forbidden West.
Yes.
Is it 18th?
Yes.
18th of Feb. Yep.
18th of Feb. Are we all getting it day one?
I'm getting it day minus.
Pre-order.
Let's be honest.
Yeah, same.
I'm pre-ordering that, but
I haven't gauged Kyle's excitement for Horizon because I don't even know if you played the first one.
Yes, played the first one about a couple of months ago. Went back and got the. Realised the only trophy I was missing to get the plat was New Game Plus. So went back and speed ran through New Game Plus.
Yeah, see, I never played the first one. Never played the first one.
Oh
I got hooked late game, so
it was
kind of went through it.
Go back and play it. It's amazing.
It's so good.
Tell you what, another game I'm excited for. Dead Island 2 has come out of the mix.
What?
It's coming out of development hell. There you go. It's getting dragged from hell and it's coming back. Dead Island 2 is in the mix again.
There is Dead Island 2, isn't there?
That was Dying Light 2.
Yeah, that was Dying Light. Dying Light's kind of put a shadow over it, but they're bringing out Dead Island.
A semi-sequel to Dead Island in Riptide, but it was awful.
Riptide was awful, yeah, but they're bringing out a full-fledged Dead Island 2.
Wasn't Riptide the sort of not turn-based?
Which was the Ubisoft game that was stuck in my head. Sorry, guys, but
okay, that's it. Was Riptide what?
Was it the sort of wave-based survival-y one that's done in like rounds or whatever?
No, that was like DLC for the first one. Riptide was essentially DLC repackaged as its own game.
Right. Okay.
So you had an extra character that was like a gun specialist, I think.
Yeah, it was basically the berserker. He was a berserker mode of fucking, it was basically trying to turn it into a Borderlands game, and it didn't work out too well.
I tried to play it. I think he was an Australian character, and I tried to play as him, but then the biggest problem was the fact that you couldn't find ammo anywhere.
Crikey.
Yeah, so you ended up
playing as a gun specialist with no bullet.
Yeah, so you were a gun specialist that had to basically mount in melee because, it's
and then when you did get some bullets, you're like, I don't want to use these. I'm going to save them.
Yeah. Then you got to a boss battle that would die in 3 hits from a melee weapon anyway, so you were like, alright.
Yep.
Why are you using them?
How did we get onto Dead Island 2? Oh, yeah.
Dead Island 2, yeah, it's coming back. Let's be honest.
because I remember years and years ago there was the trailer for Dead Island 2, and it was
E3
car
fucking 2000, 2008, 2007 maybe.
Christ,
It was years ago.
I remember when Dead Island, the first one, was, you know, all the YouTubers were playing it, and it was like everyone was playing it because it was a really like fully fledged co-op sort of story survival game.
Well,
not on release.
It was a co-op game. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
My first memory of Dead Island was trying to play co-op with a friend that I used to work with before you, Kyle. Co-op not working at all on release.
Yeah.
And then we decided to just play it separately, but over voice chat. And then at the end of the day, we were like, all right, we're done for this today. We'll pick it up tomorrow. Picked it up the day after. Co-op worked, so we joined each other, and it deleted both of our saves.
Oh, no way.
So we got to chapter 3 on the first day, and then we had to start right back from the beginning. Which is a bit shit.
The beginning was so slow as well.
The beginning was so slow.
It was very drugged out, wasn't it?
Yeah, it especially trying to fix the
car.
But
when you get to the next island with your electric samurai blade, you know what I mean?
I was just going to... The electric sword, I kept that. As soon as I picked it up,
so easy. Oh, you'd walk through. Oh, there's a big guy. Oh, what a shame. He's dead. Let's go.
Dead. Can't hit me because he's electrocuted. Right, maybe we should move on from Dead Island, because we're going to be speaking about Dying Light 2 shortly anyway. But still on the topic of zombies, have either of you seen the Resident Evil 4 remake leaked details? Be forgiven if you didn't, because I found it on a Spanish site, so I am relying on Google Translate.
I've seen it, but I don't know what to think, man.
Let me read an extract from Region
from the
PlayStation.
Spanish site you found.
Spanish site that I found, Region PlayStation, which, granted, would be
Google Translate is my friend. Let's go.
Quoting Alejandro Altaber. Sorry.
So, butchering your name, Alejandro. So,
according to Alejandro, it would follow the playable formula of RE2 Remake and RE3 Remake.
Which were
this is where it gets
let's be honest,
especially fishy, because the article starts off with, quote, from the 4chan forums.
Oh, okay. Already done.
But we'll continue. Information has been shared that reveals multiple new details of the oft-rumoured remake of Resident Evil 4, a title that would include numerous changes compared to the original. These would be some of the great modifications of the game. It will be a survival horror with touches of action, similar to Resident Evil 3 remake. New role with greater relevance for Louis. Was that his name? Louis? Luis, that was it. With physical and personality remodeling, so he's probably not going to be.
So he's actually useful in this game, is what they're trying to say.
Well, maybe, and he might
he's
not be
going to grenade spam the enemies.
He might not be a pervert because that's not okay anymore. New college student style for Ashley. The more elaborate evolution, starting with fears. Oh, that's Google Translate. Then helping to distract and attack enemies.
So she's going to sit in the corner and scream.
Maybe.
So my house is not good enough.
She's going to be a college student because...
because of reasons.
Guarantee they want to remodel it just so she doesn't wear a skirt.
Yes. That is basically what it's going to be.
Yeah. Next point. Sadler now has a more scientific touch. Sadler. Was he?
He was.
Krauser was the military guy, wasn't he? Sadler was. Oh. My memory.
When either guy just came out and died, or was that? I'm thinking of Resident Evil 2. Came out, died. Oh, I'm the main guy, died.
He was. No. He was the big guy in the robes. That was it. But he was the main villain. I just couldn't remember what he looked like. Big guy in the robes. Went all tentacly and shit.
So he's not the main guy, because the main guy I'm thinking of is the guy who follows you around in. Is it RE2?
Oh no, he's not Wesker. No, not Wesker.
No, Wesker's the big boy from RE5 as well. So I'm not thinking of Wesker. I'm thinking of the there's nothing but follows you around a lot in the main game.
Oh, like Mr. Whatever the bloody hell his name.
Mr. Cloak and Dagger.
Mr. X.
Let's go
Mr.
with
X.
that.
Okay. Anyway, where was I? You've distracted me. The 3 final bosses have been removed to replace them with others. The initial settlement, so the famous starting village with the chainsaw dude. The initial settlement will have more houses and narrower streets. Separate ways, which I think was a end game mode where you play as Ada.
Yeah.
Rightly?
Yeah.
That's already included in the game, as well as mercenaries.
Ada 1. Good old Ada 1.
A complete reworking of Krauser's physique and personality. Krauser's a military dude. And the final boss will no longer be Spider Sadler. And I think you just take him out pretty easily with a rocket launcher, if I remember. If you saved it.
Basically, they're changing the game.
Changing the game. It is a remake. You excited?
Yeah. So they're following Final Fantasy VII Remake, and they're skipping left. They're making it harder, and they're trying to do something where they don't want people to have a good time.
Yeah. Hashtag Ares lives. What?
Hashtag Ares was never died.
Never died. Didn't even get a scratch. 'Tis a mere flesh wound. What do we think? Did we enjoy? did we? Kyle knows nothing of this. We've just spoiled Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, it's fine.
Are we looking forward to Resident Evil Remake? Did we play Resident Evil 4 when it first came out?
I love Resident Evil from 5 onwards. See, a lot of people would hate it, but
including 6.
Like 5. Well, yeah, okay. 6 isn't in my repertoire.
So you liked Resident Evil 5? That's what you're saying.
On 5, skip 6. We're going to 7.
7, yeah.
I like the more over shoulders. I like that gameplay, but 1 and 2 remake to me it wasn't the same. I like director's cut and I like the originals, but when they tried to remaster it, it just ruined it. It ruined the golden olds, man. It wasn't the same.
What about you, Kyle? Did you play RE4?
No. I think
played any RE?
I think I played.
No.
What's the most recent one that came out?
So what?
What's the most recent Resident Evil that came out?
Village.
Which was number
8.
Unofficially 8. Yeah.
Fucking 8, 9.
I might have played
9 if you count the director's cut.
Maybe 6. Was 6? Did one of them have co-op in?
Yeah, 6 was the.
5 also
5.
had co-op.
Yeah, 5 had co-op. 6 had co-op. 6 was awful. It was the one with Wesker's son in it.
I think
his name is.
6 was the one where it had no straight story. It was just like 4 different separate stories that was going around, and like you played as one per, right?
Yeah, I think one was Chris Redfield, the other was
one
Jake.
was Chris, one was fucking the old school. Was it Wesker or Wesker when he was trying to be a decent guy or some shit? I can't remember. Literally, I got halfway through it and just went, I'm disappointed. So
I think I played 5 co-op with a friend, but I've never really been into Resident Evil. It's just been one of those games that sort of passed me by.
5 was only fun when you got to the point where you had unlimited rocket launches.
5 was only fun when Chris started to beat up a boulder.
I'm so weak, I can't do anything. Boulder punch, bam.
Press X to beat up boulder. I really liked 4. I played it first on the GameCube.
4 was good on the
GameCube. Because I never had a GameCube, but went over to his house, we played RE4, and I was like, oh, this is fucking awesome, I'm going to play this at home. And he's like, no, you can't, it's not a PlayStation. What? Then, I don't know, a year later or something, I saw it I remember walking through Tesco, and I was with my mum. I was like, Mum! I mean that game! And she goes, that's 18 plus. I was like, Mum!
Resident Evil!
I'll go wait in the car, you go buy me that game. And she did. And then I played it solidly all school summer. It was excellent.
Don't shoot the water. Let's just be honest.
Don't
shoot the water.
Shoot the water. Yeah, I made that mistake as a child, but it was awesome, and that that image of the village with the chainsaw dude at the start of the game is burned in my mind, and it, as a completely incompetent child, could not get past that for days, and I spent days trying to kill a fucking chainsaw. And the rest of the game is fine.
Yeah, easy cake, right? Easy walk.
Easy cake. Right, okay, let's move on. Dying Light 2 came out on the 4th of Feb.
Yep.
It was first announced back in 2018. 4 years ago. It's taken 4 years for Dying Light 2 to come out. Are any of us interested in this? I was when it was announced. My anticipation for this game has completely eroded. It's come out and I just...
Yeah.
Looks good.
First law, you know, don't hype. It's the hype train getting the better of us again.
Yeah, I fell off the train. I was one of
those
fell
off the train when they first announced it 6 months later.
I started playing the first game, got about maybe 7 hours in, and then just never picked it back up again. I think it was one of those cursed games that you think, oh, this is alright, and you just never bother finishing because everything else comes out.
When they finally announced that it had gone gold, I felt a little bit more excited again, and then they had that infamous marketing campaign where they said it will take you 500 hours to complete the game. I was like, no. And they tried to elaborate, saying, no, it'll take you 500 hours to do everything in the game. It's like, too late. You already spoiled it for me. I ain't spending all that time on it. And then it turns out it takes like 20 hours to complete the campaign, but my opinion of it's already spoiled.
Yeah.
However, the critical reception seems okay. It scored 77 on Metacritic on PS5, 79 on Xbox, but I suppose they're used to shitty games. Sorry. Push Square's review of it is as follows, quote, Dying Light 2 is a super solid follow-up to the 2015 original. Building upon its fantastic game loop with new traversal options for even more parkour fun. It's extremely disappointing, however, that the narrative and open world promises of Techland made in the lead up to the launch haven't been realised. Your choices don't have nearly as much impact as we would like, and the map is much more rigid than pre-release footage would have you believe. Still, Dying Light 2 feels awesome and empowering to play, and that can go a long way. End quote.
Wait. Empowering to play.
See, the only thing I hear about Dying Light 2 is how good the parkour is, and that, like fluid movement, Miles Morales and Spider-Man was awesome. The traversal in Spider-Man is so fluid and satisfying, and you can boot up Miles Morales, you can boot up Spider-Man, and just swing through the city and enjoy it.
Yeah, it's true.
Hear the same about the parkour in Dying Light 2?
You know what I'm screaming for?
What?
Mirror's Edge. Mirror's Edge 2. Come on. It needs to be there.
It won't, though.
I think this might be just Mirror's Edge with zombies.
It probably is. I mean, I read a thing the other day about Mirror's Edge, because I used to love Mirror's Edge. I loved the first one. Waited however many years it was for the sequel.
I struggled for hours. Hours on the first level. Just to try and get it perfect.
Yeah, it's like a bit
The problem I had with Mirror's Edge is the fact that I'm colourblind and I ain't got a fuck where I was going.
I mean, we'll put you don't have to.
We're not laughing at colourblind people, we're just laughing at Stu. Come on, guys.
You don't really have to be colourblind or not. Everything's white except for the one slightly odd shade of red. It is, hey, go this way. That's all you have to follow.
That's what red looks like.
This sky needs to be. Come on.
Apparently Mirror's Edge 2 basically didn't do well at all, so it's very unlikely that there'll be a sequel unless they try and reboot the whole thing again.
No, I completely forgot there was a Mirror's Edge 2.
Yeah.
See, me too. I didn't even know there was one. So
it's because it was.
I was about to say, oh, we're gonna get a Mirror's Edge 2, but you've just reminded me there actually was one.
Yeah, there was.
Oh no.
And it was a prequel of the first
was it a pre-port only, or did it come out as a? You know, you had to be on one console.
I think it came out as a full release. No, I think it came out as a full release.
It was PC and PS4. Not sure about Xbox.
You know what? I might actually buy it.
It was on Xbox. Yeah, PS4, PC.
I'll have to buy it and tell you guys next week how it goes.
Go for it. Why not?
Yeah,
have a bit of retro. Google reviews are 4.2. It wasn't awful, but that says
just
nothing.
Didn't
really.
do well in terms of sales. I think it was. It didn't make them much money, and so they're not going to throw, millions at it.
No, that's very true. I mean,
the only thing I can see Mirror's Edge coming back for is with PSVR 2 and kind of having some sort of odd spin-off VR-y parkour game.
You do everything upside down, like, you know what I mean?
I don't think we'll ever see Mirror's Edge 2, Mirror's Edge 3, simply by virtue of the fact that EA is the publisher and DICE is the developer, and DICE is just the Battlefield studio now. Whether they'll still be the Battlefield studio after Battlefield 2042, I don't know. I think I can now see a future where DICE is dissolved, because Battlefield 2042, I borrowed it for one evening. I played one match and deleted it. It was awful. So bad. And this wasn't like on release. This was a couple of weeks after release. There's still no scoreboard. There's still a multitude of bugs. The audio is terrible. You can't tell where people are coming from. You can't tell where gunshots are coming from. The weapon selection's pathetic. There's more weapons in Call of Duty.
I'm not saying something.
That's what makes Call of Duty so good. It's like Call of Duty, as much as I hate it, I love it. Because it's head and tails above a lot of the first-person shooters that are out there.
Yeah, I mean, no one can argue that the FPS mechanics of Call of Duty is probably the best in the business.
Yeah,
aside from Destiny as well, the first-person shooting in Destiny is also top tier. But I always liked Battlefield for the more strategic type
more
of
realism. The more it's got the drop mechanics and stuff with the bullets.
Yeah, but 2042, they've tried to turn it into Call of Duty, and it's bad. Got specialists, and none of the specialist perks are particularly satisfying. None of them particularly work very well. I can genuinely see DICE dissolving very sadly. But anyway, let's move on to Parky's favourite topic this week.
Yeah, so I'll be back in about half an hour.
You're not going to pop out the air horn for this one, right? This isn't weebin. This is just your game.
To put it into context for anybody who
heavy
doesn't know,
breathing.
We all have a group chat where we throw in ideas about what to talk about on the podcast. So for the past, how long has it been out now? Like a week, just under a week.
8th of Feb it came out.
Hey, have you beat this level? No, but I beat this level at age 21. Oh, no way, I did this at this. And I'm just like, oh, okay. It's about just a whole screen of just.
What you could do, right, Kyle, is buy the game and enjoy it with the rest of us.
The thing is, I think I will. I think you guys have influenced me that much. I'm like, oh, you know what? I'm quite getting
It's cheap. It's not a full price release either.
Just don't do what I did and buy the next level one where you can get the soundtrack, because it's not worth the soundtrack because it doesn't work on PS5.
It doesn't play. I downloaded it and I was like, oh god.
It just says it doesn't exist. I'm like, okay. I want to play as, I want to play as some extra people, but nah, it just doesn't work. Buy the original for the extra £2 less.
Yeah.
And
it's
enjoy it with the rest of us.
It's a bargain. It's such a great game. Let's talk about it. Obviously, this episode is slightly delayed because of Parky working.
Sorry, I love the flyer. Big up the flyer. Let's go.
So, our notes are mainly, are we looking forward to this? We're past that. We were looking forward to this, and now we're thoroughly enjoying it. Was it a day one purchase? Yes, it was. Was it day one purchase for you, Parky? I think it was.
It really was. It was waiting to download in my shopping cart for so long.
Yeah. I had it pre-ordered. I suffered with the rest of PlayStation users where it wouldn't auto-download when they told us it would. So I think we were supposed to get it a day early, and I actually just ended up playing it on release date. mind. So good. It is by far the best indie game I've played in years and years.
Since we haven't, I don't think we've actually said the title yet, right?
We not.
Everybody knows what it is.
It's SIFU.
SIFU. Let's go.
Oh, such a good game. It's like playing a Jackie Chan movie. The combos are so satisfying, and the dodge mechanic in the blocking mechanic.
Not even Jackie Chan. We're not even going Jackie Chan because we're going.
Jet Li.
Jet Li is there. We're going even better than that. We're going to Johnny Woo, man. These are Johnny Woo styles.
all right.
It's just playing an old school Chinese film.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an old school Chinese film in your hands, and it's beautiful. The artwork is great, and the more you play it, the more it benefits you. It's like really one of those games. You got to put the time in.
Definitely have to, yeah. Definitely have to. It's one of those. It's a short. Say it's a short game, but it's really not. It's 5 levels, but you will play level 1 over and over again. You'll play level 2 over and over again. You'll play level 3 over and over again. But that is not a bad thing. You play level 1, you beat it at say 30 your first time around or more. You play level 2, don't finish it because you realise 30 is way too old to go into the club. So you go back to level 1, you try and perfect it. The mechanic essentially is you die, you age. As you age, you get less health, but you do more damage. Age doesn't reset when you finish a level, so you've got to get all the way to the end of the game before you get 75 plus. As soon as you hit
74 plus.
Okay, 74 plus.
Once you hit 70, well, once you hit 70, the next step is the game mode, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
the
it's such a good game. You say it's a pick up and play, but you gotta get used to the parry system. It's quite Souls-esque without being.
It's a hard game.
Like, you know, it's a very hard game for what it is.
Having said that, though, I can run through level 1 now deathless. I finally achieved it, 2 days ago or something? Yesterday, I don't know. Beat level 1 without dying. And level 2, I'm so close to getting past the club, which apparently is the hardest level. And I think it might be. I'm on the last boss now, and I still can't beat him. Level 2, as a whole, is definitely the hardest level.
Once you've gone past level 2, you can skip that hard boss, which, to be fair, the first time I faced him, you said, oh, the guy who stands there and he's like, oh, you can't go past all this. The first time I fought him, I didn't think he was hard because he never sprung at me. He just blocked the whole time, and I was like, is this easy mode or what? He never swung once. I went through it, and then I went to the final boss, and he knocked me out in 2 hits. I was like, well, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then you were like, I didn't beat the minion. I was like, what do you mean you didn't beat him? He never swung at me once.
Well, it's such like a very...
maybe I glitched it. Like, I don't know. Maybe I said something at some person, and it unlocked something else. It's the joy, man. You can go to so many different playthroughs, and you can change up so many times.
Yeah, I was going to say, it completely depends on your play style, so I avoid a lot, parry when necessary. I don't tend to play ultra aggressive. I wait for the strike, I either dodge it or parry it, and then I strike back. I've seen some people play through where they go in with heavy attacks, smack, and then dodge back and pull it back and wait for the enemy to recompose themselves. Because you can tell what attacks the enemies are going to do based on how they're standing and where they are and whether they've got a weapon, and if they don't have a weapon, or if there's more than one enemy around you. You have to watch everything on screen all at once, and the better you get realizing what's going on, further you'll get, the less damage you'll take, and the younger you'll go into the next stages. So when I first picked up the game, I died over and over again on level 1, and now I barely even get scratched. Level 2, really, really hard. Those disciples, my god.
It's one of those games. Weapons are what you need.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not just there for fun. If you can pick up the skill where you can kick a stool at somebody to drop them down, then oh my god, take it.
I find those 2 disciples before boss 2 harder than the boss now.
Yeah.
Then you get to the
disciples
museum.
are harder than the bosses because the bosses telegraph their attacks a lot.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
you can pick up their patterns really easily.
Is there sort of
Indeed.
a skill tree system where you unlock it and then you can go back to previous?
Yes,
but the joys are you can unlock them and then you can perma unlock them. So when you go back to the earlier stages, they're already permanently there. You can constantly use them, but you got to spend your XP or whatever you to unlock them permanently.
The way it works,
it's one of those grinders.
Yeah, the way it works is you've got abilities that you can unlock, and they cost X amount of XP.
Yeah.
So, say you've got there's a flowing strike thing where you press triangle, wait a second, press triangle again, and you just batter them. That is my favourite skill. It costs, I think, 1,000 XP. I might be wrong, but that's just to unlock it. If you game over and you've only unlocked it base level, you'll lose it.
Right.
Or if you reset, you'll lose it. You have to permanently unlock it, and to permanently unlock a skill, you have to buy it another 5 times.
5 times, yeah.
Right. Okay.
But that flowing fist that he's on about, if you've got a sword or something on you, it insta kills anything.
So is there anything that stops you from just buying it once and then dying and then playing it again and then buying it a second time? Do you have to like complete, the level?
You either have to complete the level with it, or you have to spend all that XP into it.
Right. Okay.
If you quit out of a level,
you
lose everything you unlocked in that level.
Okay.
Have to finish the level to carry on the progress.
Okay. I'm guessing dying doesn't count as carrying it on.
No, if you game over, you lose it.
Right. Okay.
All right, moving on. Next news, right?
That sounds.
Well,
yeah, we could talk about this for ages, so we should definitely move on. We'll touch on this briefly. GTA 6 confirmed. I don't think anyone's surprised about this.
Yeah, I wasn't
Rockstar
surprised. I'm just hoping the story is better than the last few. I mean, I love Vice City.
Yeah,
I love GTA 5. San Andreas is obviously a legend among most things, apart from you got to follow that damn train, CJ. That's the one thing that's going to be first in all of our mind.
Yeah.
All you have to do is follow the damn train.
For me, Vice City was the last.
All you got to do is shoot the damn people, Big Smoke. Come on.
Vice City was the last great GTA for me, except for the remote control plane mission.
That was the easiest one for me. See?
What the hell? No, it wasn't. You're a liar. You're a liar. No one found that easy.
Was it the little plane? It was like the RC plane at the building site, wasn't it? And it was ridiculous. Nah.
You had to think big, man.
Couldn't think big. I was a child.
You didn't have to go up them stairs. You can draw them to you, and you go slightly outside, and then you can fucking cheese it, man.
Definitely not an 18 rated game, and you were only a child.
I was 18 inside, but my mind was 7.
Didn't really like GTA 4. I thought it was boring.
Yeah,
GTA
it was alright, either. But it was a bit glitchy.
Hey cousin, you wanna go bowling? Hey cousin, you wanna go on a date? No, I don't. Fuck you, cousin.
It was
one of the reasons I dropped it, because it annoyed the shit out of me.
GTA 5.
Every 5 minutes.
Definitely
every time you're out doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Roland, you want to do something? No, I'm okay. 2 minutes later, hey cousin, you want to go bowling?
Exemplary impersonation, but stop. It's bringing back some trauma that I'd completely forgotten about.
I feel like GTA 6, do we think they'll go down the road of, we made so much money from the multiplayer, that's what we're going to focus on again? Because GTA 5 was originally the story mode. Like when it was first released, it was just the story mode was really good, and it was just essentially a free roam for multiplayer, wasn't it? There was not really a lot to do. It was just free roam, shoot each other. That was it.
It was.
Do you think GTA 6 will be focused on the multiplayer or just single?
I think they might just keep the GTA Online as it is, and they might extend it.
Yeah.
And give it more things, and then make it like they do with Modern Warfare, like what they do with,
Warzone.
sort of Warzone and stuff. They might do that.
Hopefully they won't make it as stupid as 5, where it's like, oh, now you can get flying bikes that shoot jets, and oh, now you can get submarines that shoot like nukes, and you can wipe out half the map.
Yeah. That is the exact reason why I think they'll be dropping GTA Online from 5 and starting fresh. But also, you've got to remember who is publishing this game. So,
right. I want them to bring out a new Manhunt, so I'm gonna keep talking in their ear as beautifully as I can.
We need Bully 2.
Sweet whispers. Manhunt 3 confirmed.
We need Bully 2. / Canis Edit or whatever it was called in the UK.
Canon Manhunt. Let's do it.
Let's not forget that, whatever it was. Let's not forget that it's Take-Two that publishes this game. Take-Two, who released the GTA Trilogy Remaster, which was effectively a mobile port of all 3 games, and it was awful. Awful. Shame on you. Shame on you, Strauss Zelnick. You're a liar.
I'm sure he's really laughing from his super yacht right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he is. What a dick.
Oh no, my $83 billion company. What a shame.
Oh, I've upset someone. What a shame.
I've upset one lonely man in his house.
Seriously, I have a point though. I have a point. The Trilogy Remaster was clearly a cash grab. Clearly, there was very little effort. Grove Street Games, I think, were the developer. They worked on the original mobile ports of the trilogy. They've essentially ported their own port, and it's awful. It was a cash grab, low effort, low investment.
I mean, the better quality was on the PS4 that I bought as the PS4 game.
Yeah.
On my PS5, I bought San Andreas again. It was better than the remaster.
Removed all of the old. Well, yeah. I think they've re-upped them now. Originally, they removed the original, so you couldn't buy them anymore. You had to buy the remaster.
You had to buy the remaster, yeah. So I bought it before they removed it.
Yeah.
And it was better than the remaster. So, Boney, anyone who was later than me, I'm sorry. But...
sorry, but you suck.
Laugh into the bank.
I think purely by virtue of the fact that it's Take-Two publishing, GTA 6 will have a new online, because new online, where everyone starts fresh, means everyone needs to buy microtransactions again.
It does.
It does.
But I'll take it one step further. I don't think there will be a purely single-player element to this game.
Ooh, we'll be going... You'd think it'll be a multi single player, but not multi single player.
I think this is the idea that I have. Think Division. So
I don't want to think Division anymore. I've invested too much into that.
What I mean is, like, it's kind of a
instanced missions.
Yes.
Set in a multiplayer world, but with instanced missions.
Yes.
Yeah.
So 4 of you basically think the raids, think all the heists and stuff, but throughout like the entire story.
It makes sense. It's just wouldn't that. Well, I was going to say
it wouldn't work.
You know, there'd be a lot of servers up and everything, but it's Rockstar.
Not even that. I don't think it would work. You'd get the people who complete the game, get them before day release, do the story, and then come back just to troll the new players. Because that is the Rockstar lobbies. Let's be honest.
It is. But
you go into any GTA Online lobby and you're looking at somebody riding around on their little bike.
What do you do?
You ask them to blow you up. And you're like, oh, we're doing something cool. Oh, yeah. Oh, I've been hit by a rocket from this little bike.
what you're presenting is player problems, and we have already seen that Rockstar and Take-Two do not give a shit about player problems. They care about money in the bank. And if their single-player element is actually shared world co-op, the shared world co-op means, oh, like your outfit, where'd you get that? Did you unlock it? No, I bought it. Ah,
Oh,
I guess I'll go and buy it as well then. Oh, where'd you get that weapon? Where'd you get that car? Oh, I bought it. Oh, I want that. Alright, cool. Oh, I can't do this mission, but it'd be a lot easier if we bought this.
So,
Alright, let's all buy it.
GTA 6 is now a free-to-play battle royale, confirmed.
That's
what it is.
Anyway, let's move
will
away
not
from
be free to play.
GTA 6, otherwise we're going to be here for years, bud.
That's true. Right, we'll move on to Ghostwire. We
Ghostwire. It looks
see
so
the
good.
gameplay teaser?
It looks so good.
I saw a little sneaky peek. It looked
Sneaky peek?
It kind of piqued my interest.
Sneaky peek. I'm thinking Ghost of Tsushima with some.
Ghost of Tsushima? Get out! No, nothing the same.
Oi. See where I'm coming from this, right? Ghost of Tsushima, right? Meets Infamous. Bang.
Right.
Baby right there in the middle. Ghost of Infamous. That's what we're looking at right there.
So you're basically saying it's...
you thought I was coming from nowhere. Now you see Ghost of Infamous. It's in your face.
Essentially, you're saying it's Japanese superpowers, is what you're saying. That's what
basically,
you're tell us.
The combat to me looks like a lot of Ghost of Tsushima. You know, a lot of parry, and then
like specific ways to do.
But then you've got god powers. You've got god powers of the Infamous franchise, which was beautiful, to be fair. I did really enjoy Infamous.
Okay. What did you take from it then, Carl? Go on.
I didn't take a lot from it, to be honest. I looked at it, I thought, yeah, I might try playing that. That was sort of it. It's like,
he pulled a Kyle. He
pulled a Kyle. Laid back. I surprised because I was under the impression from the initial trailers that we saw way back when, before the director changed, and this is like the first few E3 trailers we saw. I think it was shown E3.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be a horror game. I thought this was because it's from is it from Tango Gameworks?
Yeah.
The makers of Evil Within 2. I thought, because I think originally Ghostwire Tokyo started off as a sequel to Evil Within 2, then the direction changed. I assumed it was going to be a horror game, and obviously with the like the horror aesthetic and the creepy monsters, and there's like mythological themes. I was quite surprised to see that it's just straight up an action game. It reminds me a little bit. What?
It's PS5 exclusive for a year, boys. Suck on that.
Oh, shame. Yes, it is. This was obviously slightly controversial after the Bethesda acquisition. Two Xbox exclusives have exclusively released on PlayStation. Sorry, two Xbox first-party games have released exclusively on PlayStation now. We've had Deathloop, which was meh, in my opinion. We've got Ghostwire coming out, which looks great. Despite the fact I was looking forward to a horror game, I think it looks like an awesome action game. Reminded me a little bit of Skyrim.
Okay.
Let me finish. Only in the sense that I used to just dual wield spells in Skyrim all the time.
Yeah.
So this looks like Skyrim with a battle system that actually works.
I mean, Skyrim worked at the time.
Did
Back
it?
in the day.
I'm not saying Skyrim's a bad game, but I'm not saying it's a well-made game.
It didn't age
But
well.
Phosphor man. Phosphor has got that thing on you.
You can't shout everything off a cliff.
Oh, I can. Welcome to Bristol.
Skyrim didn't age well, but at the time there was nothing like it, so it kind of got a free pass.
I would argue that Skyrim never ages because they just keep releasing it.
I mean, because they keep releasing new things for it, you know what I mean? That's what they're going to do with SIFU as well, man. Yeah, it'll never get old because they're going to keep releasing new things for it.
They keep reporting it to new consoles. Same game, new console, report again, and again.
Oh, welcome to the Switch. Oh, it's brand new. Yes, it is 12 years later.
Right.
Sorry, anyway.
So are we gonna get Ghostwire? I'm definitely gonna get Ghostwire day one. What about you?
Yeah, day one release for me, Ghostwire.
Okay.
Definitely.
Oh, you're actually gonna buy a game for a change?
Yeah, I might do. Might be a day one.
Do you want me to buy it for you?
Yeah, go on then. If you're offering.
Merry Christmas.
Or how
about throwing money about?
How about we instantly get about 1,000 subscribers, and then
subscribers can pay.
The world can buy it.
Yeah, we're not looking for subscribers for that. We're not those money grabbers. We're just here for fun, right?
Yeah, for now. Until the money rolls in.
And then we'd be like Strice Zelnick on our money thrones.
God Streisand, Godzilla. Let's go.
We'll remaster all of the episodes and monetize them. Right,
face release at 5,000 subscribers, yeah?
Okay. Alright, let's move on before we get bogged down. We touched on this before last week. Obviously, the Bungee acquisition by Sony. Huge surprise. No one saw this coming. I didn't see it coming. No, I don't think anyone thought that Bungee, of all studios, previously an Xbox-owned studio, would be under the umbrella of Sony. But last week we spoke about the games. This week, I wanted to pay particular attention to Bungie's statement where they mentioned multimedia. Now, multimedia, obviously gaming is a media, movies are a media.
They are.
Do you agree it would make sense? This deal had absolutely nothing to do with acquiring Destiny, and in fact had everything to do starting Bungee / Destiny cinematic universe, because that is where I think it's going.
That is definitely where it's going. Come on, boys. I mean, they've just released Uncharted in the cinemas.
Yeah, which I see as bombed.
It's because none of the Uncharted fans went to see it because they're all playing Uncharted.
That's very true.
You see where I've gone with that?
I think the casting choices were very much. I understand it. I could see it. It was all right, but I'm not a diehard.
Would have preferred I forget his name, but the guy from The Mummy.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Fraser.
Daniel Fraser would have definitely been an Uncharted person.
Yeah.
He would have been an excellent Drake.
It's just one of those where I think it was a lot of the fans thought these are probably the wrong actors, but at least they made it. You know, they're good at it.
At least they made it.
I like Tom Holland.
Yeah,
I think Tom Holland is a great actor. He's a great Spider-Man.
Yeah,
that's it. A great Spider-Man. He doesn't look like Drake. He's not the right age to be Drake. Sully doesn't even have a mustache in the trailer. I don't know if he's got one in the film.
Doesn't have a mustache. Jesus.
Sully's supposed to be an aged man, and
he is.
It's Mark Wahlberg, isn't it?
Yeah, who has a very distinctive face. I was thinking this. I saw the trailer again today, and I was thinking he just looks like himself. No matter who he plays, he doesn't look like anyone else. He looks like Mark Wahlberg.
Mark Wahlberg plays Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it's it.
I mean, basically what they did was fuck it, let's make a movie.
He hasn't got.
Read your script. Let's go.
He hasn't got the.
What should we do?
Dynamic.
I don't know. I was playing Uncharted this morning.
Uncharted's pretty fun. Let's try to make a movie like.
He hasn't got the Will Smith dynamic.
From what I hear, the Uncharted movie is pretty good.
I feel as though it would be pretty good. Yeah, I'd feel it's probably a good movie if you're a gamer.
Yeah, but if you're somebody that's never heard of Uncharted, you're probably not going to go and watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the World of Warcraft movie. I really enjoyed that, but everyone I
also enjoyed it. Oh,
yeah.
See?
It's like
I never played Warcraft, but I did enjoy the movie.
The Ratchet and Clank movie was incredible, but if you speak to someone that's not a gamer,
they'd be like, "What
I think
was it
it's
about?"
trash.
Yeah,
exactly.
to,
I feel as though
just
staying in that news though.
Yeah, just to piggyback off that one real quick.
Jackass movie.
Another one.
Anyone going to see that?
Yeah,
I'm going to see it tomorrow. I think it's going to be a laugh.
How have I missed that this existed?
It's not very well advertised.
You can always pop. You can always pop down and see it with me tomorrow if you know.
Me to drive to Bristol
Casual
on a Sunday.
drive.
Oh, we don't reveal where we are, man.
You
said Bristol earlier.
I said I'm Bristolian. I didn't say anything about being in Bristol. Yeah, fucking nuts.
Of course you're not. Yeah, you're in.
Yeah, I'm in Kazakhstan, man.
It's a strange road. Anyway,
right,
jumping back to Uncharted real quick, and then piggybacking off that. The director of the Uncharted movie is apparently working with PlayStation on a Jak and Daxter adaptation.
Interesting.
So there's potentially Jak and Daxter might be getting a reboot in terms of a movie, which then there's a lot of might kind of bring things back to the franchise, the series, make another game. I mean, the fans want the game.
It's interesting you should say that. Because if you remember, I don't know if you will, in Ratchet and Clank 3, there were billboards with Jak and Daxter on it.
Yes, there were.
Yes.
Obviously, we had Ratchet and Clank film, and then the game came out at the same time, which was essentially the film but playable.
Yep.
I think you're onto something there. I think if they are making a Jak and Daxter film, that they'll do the same as they did with Ratchet and Clank, and we'll have a Jak and Daxter game to go with it.
Which would be very nice.
Would be very nice, because I quite miss Jak and Daxter.
I do too. I think the fourth game we don't talk about because it was basically a racing game, but
like Crash Team Racing. It was.
Yeah, the Crash Team Racing was good.
Let's be honest. Nobody puts Crash Team Racing and Crash Bandicoot together because they just went on the Mario Kart franchise fucking hype, and it was.
Hang on a second.
Oh yeah, hey,
Doctor,
hey, Doctor, let's go have a race, a good friendly race after you tried to bomb me with some random particles. So yeah, let's jump in a go-kart together.
I mean,
no, Crash didn't do that. Let's be honest.
Okay, looking back now, the PS1 Crash Team Racing was obviously hey, we need something to rival like Mario Kart. But
it was Sony's answer to a kart racer.
Yeah, it was done well though. That's the difference.
Yeah. It was done well.
Done terribly.
It was insanely hard if you got to that boss that cheated all the time.
Nitrous Oxide.
Yeah. Indeed, Mr. Nitrous was a bit of a cheater.
I think the difference between Crash Team Racing and Jak 4 though was the fact that Crash Team Racing was called Crash Team Racing and Jak 4 was a numbered sequel.
Yeah. Like,
what an insult to Jak, right?
Mm-hmm. Didn't even let Daxter have a look in. But anyway, I'm going to drag this kicking and screaming back to the topic because somehow we've gone from a Bungee cinematic universe to Crash Team Racing. So obviously, Sony has acquired Bungee. Bungee is in a rather unique position where they've been acquired by Sony, and rather contrary to their usual behaviour, their games seem to be staying multi-plat. So obviously that's why I think this acquisition was done for Sony Pictures Entertainment Studios to facilitate Bungie's desires to make Destiny movies. And I think Destiny movies could be awesome. Because let's be fair, Destiny games were shocking at telling a story. Do you remember Destiny 1? We had to go into the Grimoire cards to find out the story, Kyle?
Oh yeah, but they weren't even on the game, were they?
No, you had to go to a website. You had to leave the game and go to a website to find out the lore of Destiny 1. Destiny 2 doesn't.
The trouble with that is they bring out a card. Yeah, great. You have to go off website, but a lot of the games that they release, the lore is going to be hidden under everything. So the only people who want to find it are the people who want to find it.
This is why I think a movie is such a great idea, because they can finally
Not if they vote it. If they vote it, then it will. Not me.
Let's sunset the first movie. It doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it comes out a month later. Yeah, we're gonna vote it. You can't watch it online anymore. That's it. That's gone. Yeah. You can't go to the cinema. It's locked.
It's gonna be some James Bond stuff where they'll release it on streaming services and it'll delete itself from the internet and all the Blu-rays will explode spontaneously on a set day.
Only if you pay £200 can you watch
3 sequels.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think this is a perfect opportunity to tell a Destiny story. So get the lore.
What happened in the Red War? Because I was never there.
Well, you'll never find out now, will you?
Exactly. See, unless they release a movie. Hint, hint.
So, well, the Red War was. I can't even fathom why they got rid of the Red War, because it explains why you lose all of your stuff from Destiny 1. So you essentially just lose your Guardian powers because they trap the Traveler, which seems like a massive fatal flaw in the Traveler's powers. He can broadcast this light across galaxies, but someone puts a net over him. And then all of a sudden, all of the Guardians become mortal and can't fly around anymore.
Tiny nets, my only weakness. How did you know?
So you effectively destroy. I can't remember what his name was, but we'll call him Gary because that seemed to be the meme going around at the time.
Yeah, I know.
Kill Gary. You release the Traveler, and happy days. That's the end of the Red War.
Reminds me of space lore. Like even in Star Wars, the biggest, Death Stars of the smallest little air vent. A single bullet will explode the entire thing.
Use the Force. Fuck that. I'll just shoot it. Yeah.
Net,
Even with the Force, Jesus.
But I wanted to get your opinions on if we were to see a Destiny cinematic universe or a Bungee cinematic universe of some sort. No, I want to bring it specifically to Destiny. Where do you think it's going to be set? Do you think... I know Kyle's probably going to have a bit more insight in this because we spent thousands of hours playing it together.
And the rest.
Do you think it will be a movie based on what happens around the events of Destiny 1, Destiny 2, or, this is what I think, maybe we go, if there's a multitude of films, maybe we go back to the Golden Age where the Traveller first turns up and then... I don't know, what do you think?
Kyle.
Oh, you want to go to me?
Absolutely, I want to go to you.
I was thinking more, rather than movie, sort of animated series.
Oh, okay.
Center, they've done well before. I think Destiny's got too much to tell to try and condense it into, 2 hours for nobody to watch, and then the 2 sequels to never come out.
Yeah, but you've got to think about the Warhammer. Warhammer brought out their own thing, didn't they? And then Warhammer brought out their movie, and then you've got Warcraft as well brought out their own movie. There's so much to tell, but they tried to do it in their own little movie.
What you're saying then is Destiny needs to be tabletop minifigures. That's
yes.
how you figure out the lore.
I think that we're looking at like a Marvel-esque type deal where we could have different stories told. So we could have... this is incredibly ambitious and we're relying on Sony to put this together, which is not always the greatest idea, but...
Come on, Sony, do it.
Got like the main Destiny... I've got my hands in the air here. I'm proper, spelling this out with my hands that neither of you can see. So we've got the main Destiny story. I think we'll start in the Golden Age, and then I don't know, some shit will go down, and then we'll move on to the story that happened in Destiny 1, and then we won't even talk about Destiny 2 because that disappointed me so much. We'll splinter off, and we'll go into the Hive lore because the Hive are by far the most interesting enemies, and Forsaken, and what are they called, the Forsaken? The Fallen, sorry, not the Forsaken. That's Halo. Oh.
No, I thought the Forsaken were the ones in Taken King.
Oh wait, no, Forsaken was just the DLC for Destiny 2. Ignore me. The Fallen. So I think we'll have the main Destiny story, yada yada yada. But also have, like weird shoot-off films like Ant-Man. Or
I mean, Ant-Man had very little to do with Destiny, so I'm gonna...
I'm trying to compare this to Marvel. So, like the lesser-known heroes. I mean, I say lesser-known. These are quite important figures in the Destiny lore, but unless you're really into the Destiny lore, you'll have never heard of them. So maybe we have a film about Osiris. Yes, Kyle? Remember who Osiris is? The time-traveling dude?
Yeah. It's as much as I'd love it to happen, I'm not going to put any anticipation on it because there's too much lore, and I don't think it'd make Sony enough money.
I think, well, you say that, but the latest Spider-Man movie made them $1 billion. And yes, I know Spider-Man's popular, but
is he there?
I mean, let's put it this way: when kids go trick or treating on Halloween, you see them in Spider-Man
outfits.
I want to be Osiris. Have you ever seen anybody in a Warlock costume or like?
I want to be an
Titan. I'm a Titan.
I carved my pumpkin into the face of a hive.
Satan.
my pumpkin carving was a hive thrall. Thank you very much. But no, I haven't seen any children.
Into it, yes, fine, it'll happen. But it's.
I think they will. I genuinely believe that this is the next venture. But we'll see. We'll move on to the final topic. This is a bit of a tired subject now, but we're going to talk about it because I wrote it. Sony has $9.6 billion remaining for acquisitions as of the 2nd of February. This is slightly more outdated than we'd hoped it would be, but there was the delay.
Oh, you just dated the episode. Oh,
no. Yeah, well. This suggests that $7.4 billion has been spent, which includes the recent Bungee acquisition. So, what I want to talk about is what are our predictions for any future acquisitions. And I will say, I saw this today, Herman Hulst put out a tweet about the new Horizon game, and Ember Lab, the team behind Kenna Bridge of Spirits, which I didn't play, but it does look very, very good. I don't know if either of you two played it or not.
It did look good.
Yeah, I've seen footage of it, but
it's not good enough to play. But anyway, we won't get bogged down in that. Ember Lab replied to Herman Hulst, congratulating the team and whatnot, and then Herman Hulst replied, saying, replying to Ember Lab, enjoy, team. To Ember Lab, a studio that is not publicly recognised as a Sony first-party studio yet. But what is Herman Hulst calling Ember Lab team? Could this be acquisition? Or am I reading far too much into 3 words with a bow and arrow at the end of it?
No, I think it's probably viable.
Okay. No idea how much Ember Lab are worth. They're formerly a animation studio that's only just come into gaming. Did an incredible job with their first game, but aside from that, we'll go back to what we were going to talk about and try and figure out who we think might be a viable acquisition for Sony and whether or not we think they should buy anyone.
Oof, I think Sony and Sega. Come on.
Sega. Interesting.
Sony and Sega cross paths. I mean, I think there's going to be a lot of good that can come from that.
To be honest,
let's be honest.
It wouldn't be the worst thing because obviously you've got the recent Sonic movie that's coming out, and
indeed,
the fact that Sony's making movies and Sega's making movies, they could potentially team up for some sort of
like a weird
crossover, and
I think they might struggle with licensing though, because obviously I don't think it's not Sony that's producing the Sonic movie, is it?
You mean Sega?
Oh, I mean Sony Studios. They're not behind the Sonic film.
Yeah, because Sega still owns the rights to Sonic, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. If Sony,
so it should be alright in the long run.
Merger, they could. I'm saying both studios are basically bringing out films, so if they merge sort of together, or they
get that. But what I mean, maybe this is the lawyer in me, but obviously whoever's created the Sonic film, it isn't Sega that creates it. Sega's licensed Sonic out for this film to be made. So whoever holds that license, Paramount Pictures have the license to the Sega movie, and if they're in a contract to say make 3 Sonic films, we're only going to see the second one this year. I think it comes out. So then we'll have to wait for another Sonic movie, and then that will be the Paramount trilogy, let's say. If Sony acquire Sega, then they'll have to wait for that contractual obligation to end before they can start making their own Sonic movies, and then it will likely be a reboot because it's not Paramount anymore, and then we might see that terrible Sonic character design again.
Oh yeah, the original that came out. You know why I was hyped for the original? I prefer the original Sonic design to the one that actually was in the movie. That's just me saying.
You're a liar. You're drunk. Go to bed.
Chunky shoes, sketchy looking background. Oh man, that was the hype.
Anyway,
well, I think we all think that the biggest one is obviously EA. Are they going to buy EA? Probably won't.
But I don't think they can afford EA.
EA's got so many multi-platform, fingers in the pies that I don't think EA's got any reason to stretch out any more than they already have. Konami might be a bigger or better bet because Konami would be interesting. Finger in pies.
But Konami would be interesting because they are worth what 3.2 billion, so they're affordable.
We've got EA's 3.
Yeah, affordable. Yeah.
We've got IPs like Castlevania. Remind me of some other Konami IPs. Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, but still, Metal Gear Solid was still here until they got rid of Kojima.
It was Bandai,
as soon as Kojima turned around and went, "Sorry guys, but we all know what happened with Kojima."
Yeah,
it wasn't nice.
However,
no,
Sony do.
Yu-Gi-Oh is Konami.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay, fair enough. Yep. Okay, fair play. Silent Hill. We could see, and this is the thing that I find interesting.
Silent Hills could be there.
Yes, if Sony did purchase Konami, Sony has obviously got a very close working relationship with Kojima. Maybe Sony even purchased Kojima Productions. Who knows? Imagine revival of Silent Hills by pure power of wallet. Sony bust in.
Imagine.
By Konami, say, Kojima, get over here. You can make Silent Hills again because now we own it. Great.
Oi, you made that amazing trailer known as PT.
Do it again.
Do a full game based on it. Oh my lord. Could you imagine?
It would be the greatest thing. It would be the greatest gaming story in decades. It would be the revival of something that I've still got PT on my PS4. PS4. I've still got PT on my PS4 because I've never deleted it because I can't.
If you delete it, it's gone forever.
Exactly. So Konami would be interesting. Sega, 3.6 billion. That's affordable, hilariously. I don't think they'd buy Sega. I don't think Sega would be open to sell to Sony. Let's not forget that Sony are one of the major reasons that Sega are no longer in the console business. Sega have just sold their last arcade in Japan. They recently reportedly had close ties to Xbox, not making exclusive games for Xbox, but more using their infrastructure. I think it's their cloud infrastructure to make large open world games or something like that, which obviously we saw in Sonic Frontiers. That's obviously a large open world game. I think it's going to be powered by Azure technology, which is owned by Microsoft. Is that right? So I don't think Sony would purchase Sega. Capcom, 4.9 billion. Again, affordable, interesting. Obviously franchises like Resident Evil. But, more importantly...
Square Enix would be the one though, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Square Enix is what everybody wants, let's be honest.
Well, I was actually going to say Capcom and bring back God Hand, because I really like SIFU, and God Hand was essentially SIFU on the PS2.
Was a great game.
Oh, God Hand. Did you ever play God Hand, Kyle?
No.
Oh my God, it's so
I don't
good.
care who you are, where you are. Go and
Buy a
play God
PS2
Hand.
and go and play God Hand.
You don't
It
even have to
is
buy a PS2. I'm pretty sure you can buy it now in the store. It might be in
maybe
there.
if you can, I'm gonna
Or
buy
if
it.
you've still got a PS4, it might still be there, available for backhand.
Or you could get it on the mobile. That's a good PS2 emulator. Just finally been released for Android. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, okay, but we're
There
not
you go.
endorsing
God Hand
any
is
form of
available
piracy.
to all
Yep.
with a mobile phone.
Perfect. My God Hand was essentially SIFU, but you can make your own combos. So you unlock and buy new combos, and you slot them into different sections of your combo line, and you press a load of buttons to do them, and you can make really good combos. You can make terrible combos. It was so
it was
so
complicated,
hard.
but such a fun game.
Such a weird game, and I think the second boss was just two very charming homosexual men that would attack you with their buttocks. It was great. It was the greatest thing ever. I was like, oh my God, what is this? Why am I having so much fun? Okay, we'll move on from that quite quickly. Square Enix, yeah, I do want to talk about Square Enix. 5.9 billion. Obviously, me and Parky are huge Final Fantasy fans. Kyle flirts with Final Fantasy, and that's okay.
But I am a huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
You are a huge Kingdom Hearts fan.
Anything with the Final Fantasy logo anywhere near it. I will be on it, like butter on bread, mate. I will be there.
The question is, do we need Sony to own Square Enix? Because Final Fantasy are traditionally, with the exception of 13, PlayStation exclusives anyway.
Yes, but imagine
Final Fantasy 7 Remake is not going to Xbox anytime soon, if ever.
16's coming out. They don't really need any more help. But at the
16's a
same time, I
PlayStation
just want to
exclusive.
branch the franchise out. I just want them to be
think of how
available
good
to all, you know.
Think of how good the games are now, and then say, hey, here's 5.9 billion, and we're
Here's
gonna
some
just
more
reinvest
money.
that back into you. Yeah, that's
True.
not gonna go wrong for Square Enix.
Let's also think about some legacy IP. Parasite Eve. I used to love Parasite Eve. Square Enix, right?
Yeah.
That Square Enix? It was, wasn't it? It definitely was. Am I just making that up?
It was. I'm pretty sure. Square Enix had a lot of IPs that.
Yes, they do.
It
was essentially Square's answer to Resident Evil, but in their own typical JRPG storytelling way, and it was fabulous. 1998 it came out. It's classed as an action role-playing horror video game. It wasn't very scary, but it was 8. I don't. Resident Evil was definitely scarier than Parasite Eve, but it did have our horror elements, and I thought it was absolutely amazing. And if we saw a reboot of Parasite Eve, I would be so happy. What else have we got?
Did you know, coming back to Konami, one of Konami's IPs is Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah,
but hasn't that recently? It's not even called Pro Evo anymore, is it? What's it called now?
Evolution, just Evolution Soccer.
It's new one.
Whatever it was. Could they not revamp it and bring it back? Could there not be a new fucking football square in the mix?
eFootball, thank you. Yeah.
PES 2020.
He recently released eFootball, and it was so broken that the ball physics weren't properly working, which is arguably the most important thing in a football game.
Cube, wasn't it?
Yes.
So they went to kick it, it'd bounce randomly, and it'd just be like, oh, okay, I don't know what's going on.
1.5.
So I think Pro Evo's dead.
Which is why it's always good for a refurb on that one.
I just don't have any interest in football games, and I don't think you're gonna get better than FIFA.
No,
FIFA's got a lot, like, you know.
It's had too much time to refine itself.
Yeah. Ubisoft, 7.3 billion. That's still technically affordable within the 9 billion Sony have left. would be interested in Sony buying Ubisoft with all their NFT schemes lately, giving it free NFTs out to the staff, and then the staff
definitely.
kicking off and saying, we don't want this shit.
We don't want this shit, but at the same time, it's money in the bank, isn't it?
At the same time,
Ubisoft would do it.
NFTs are climbing so high.
Mm-hmm.
Going off topic again, but NFTs are there, and
I think NFTs will be dead soon.
I think cash is going to be dead. I think cash is just non-existent anymore.
That's true, but I don't think we're going to an NFT future. I will resist heavily against an NFT future.
Yeah, but we're the old goats, mate. Nobody cares what we say anymore.
You're 31. Oh, yeah. What would we get from a Ubisoft acquisition other than, well, obviously the Division? Would we see another Division?
Division 3, I think, is definitely coming out. Assassin's Creed, there's going to be a new one.
Yes, go on.
It's not going to be as big a world as the old ones. They're going back to the small, you got to focus on the assassination. You got to focus on the old school little assassinations rather than the big traverse the worlds. So it's no longer a sandbox. It's more of a smaller level looking thing from what I have heard.
Question is it going to be like
Take it with a pinch of salt. Take it with a pinch of salt. That big pinch of salt. But
is it going to be an Assassin's Creed sort of 1, 2, or is it going to be?
It's going to be Assassin's Creed 1 and 2.
Okay, so it's going to be.
I'm thinking they're going back
rather than a Black Flag.
I'm hoping they bring out the multiplayer as well. You know what I mean? The old school Assassin's Creed multiplayer. That was the joy days.
What happened to, what was it, like Assassin's Creed Infinite or something ridiculous? Didn't they announce that, didn't they? What happened to that? Is that still going? Is that
Infinite? I've never heard of
Infinite?
You had Chronicles.
I'm sure.
That's Bioshock, bro.
No, there was something new.
You on about gaming, or you on about movies? You on about
Infinity?
Assassin's Creed Infinity, yeah.
I think that is what it's expected
to
be
live. I think they might move it sideways. I don't think it's going to be called Infinity in the long run. I think they're changing the complete IP, and I think they're going Assassin's Creed.
Or maybe
calling it extra, and then moving it sideways and going back to a less sandbox. So people aren't spending years and years looking for fucking feathers. God damn it.
Here's a thought. Infinity is supposed to be a live service version of Assassin's Creed. Maybe that live service is quite literally just they keep adding new missions. Like Hitman. Remember Hitman when it was released episodically?
Oh, Hitman as an IP was so good.
So maybe we're going to see an Assassin's Creed that follows in the lines of Hitman 2, where it was released episodically. So on release you get 5 targets. You can kill these targets in a multitude of ways, but it's not a huge sandbox. It's this very focused set map. You have your target to go for. Yeah. And then the live service element will be, here's some new missions, here's some new things to add to each mission.
As long as they don't do it like they did for the other Assassin's Creed that was multiplayer the whole way through the story and it ruined. I'm not mentioning any names for it because bringing the name to my mind just makes me angry about it.
The live service aspect is set to be it could be through times as well. They want to jump through the different sort of time periods.
Yeah.
So you could start off
that'd be great, wouldn't it?
And then 2 weeks later they have an update.
Start off in the original Assassin's Creed and then build your way up through the years.
Yeah,
through the years and go back to Egyptian time, go all the way to the Viking times.
Well, that makes sense then, doesn't it?
It'd be
because
great.
if you are flitting back and forth between time periods, it makes sense that it would be a smaller, more focused map with a set target or a set multiple amount of targets, because if you're flitting between time zones, you can't carry everything over from something else, can you? It's going to have to be, this is stage 1, you do this, and you can do it in these ways.
A certain weapon in a certain place and build from there. But you've always got your trusty side knife, you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Right, let's wrap it up then, I guess.
All right. Yeah. Any closing thoughts, Parky? Anything you want to say?
I just hope I could beat SIFU. in the youngest way possible. Like, you know what I mean? I'm
Gotta
looking
beat
for
it before the
platinum
18th.
SIFU. Let's be going.
I'm gonna go for the platinum. I don't know if I'm gonna manage it because
There's
you've got
some
to beat
tricky
the game
things on there, yeah.
under 25 years old.
I have 2 closing comments.
Yes.
One of them is, as of yesterday, it's announced that SIFU is going to get a high contrast mode, so
Yep.
you colorblind man can enjoy, and also difficulty modes.
Yeah, easy mode.
Both easier and harder.
I know we're coming to the end of the episode, but I want to have a quick discussion, now you've mentioned it, on your thoughts about difficulty settings in games. Do you think that it's appropriate? Parky might have a better insight regarding SIFU on this, but also think to games like Dark Souls.
No. Get rid of them. There's no point. Oh, I'm sorry. This makes me angry. I mean, straight out.
I'll put it this way. Difficulty modes have been around since forever. There's no harm in just, as long as it's just a case of let's scale the enemy's damage up and your health down. As long as it's just a case of that, slap them in games.
Yeah.
Just don't lock them behind trophies and things.
I get it if you want to play a game for the story. If you want to play a game for the story, that's fine. But don't start slapping it on games that don't need it. Yeah, SIFU is a difficult game, but you get more and more pleasure the more you play it to unlock more. You know what I mean? Don't just make easy mode so you can walk through the story of SIFU, because you know exactly where it's going.
There is no story in SIFU. Not really. It's
the
kill
story
Bill
of
the
SIFU
game.
is you're gonna go and kill guys, and that is it. Don't make it easier, because what's the point?
At the end of the day,
don't give it. Oh yeah, I could just walk through and tap one button the entire time.
At the end of the day, if you're
instant parry.
If you're worried about, I only like playing things in easy mode, it's too difficult. Buy all your games physical. Start playing them. If you can't do it, take it back. Problem solved.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't complain.
30-day trial mode.
Just take it back.
There you go.
I understand the accessibility argument, but
come on,
right. I don't think that some games are appropriate for difficulty modes. I think SIFU is you go in knowing that it's difficult, and you go in knowing that you're gonna have to spend time to get good.
Exactly.
Dark Souls has never bent the knee to difficulty mode.
Imagine Dark Souls easy mode. What is the point?
There would be no point. The satisfaction I get from Soulsborne games, the satisfaction I get from SIFU is overcoming the challenge. I was elated when I beat that first stage on a deathless run. And if I had an easy option...
The joy I had in my face that when I first got to level... I was age 20, beat a deathless. The happiness.
I wouldn't have had that if there was an easy mode. Because I'd have just put it on easy, because I'm weak-willed. But yes, there's an argument for accessibility. Yes, you need to cater for disabled gamers. But if you have a severe disability that impairs your control, are you going to be interested in a game like SIFU that doesn't really have a story, where the game is its mechanics and the game is mastering the mechanics? Because it's a difficult game until you learn how the enemies move and how they attack.
I'm not taking away anything from certain disabilities, but I knew a guy who couldn't use his left arm when I was growing up, right? And I would play Tekken against him, and Tekken is a very, complicated. Like, it's not complicated to some people. It's very similar, but combos are very difficult when you get to it. And I could never beat him. So, you know what I mean? I'm not taking it away from anyone. If you want to learn and you want to get good on certain games, it's there for you. I just don't want to put a barrier on games that don't need it. Like, you know what I mean?
I think when you see when you can see people beating Dark Souls with bongo drums.
I saw that, man. I watched that and it blew my mind. I couldn't beat the first boss.
If you can get to a level where you're so good at a game that you can beat it with a musical peripheral, then people with difficulties can certainly get to a level where they can enjoy a game if they want to put the time in. So
there's just no need. There is no need.
This is different.
It's easy mode on life, man. We don't need that. We're humans, man.
I think the enjoyment I get out of SIFU.
Struggle.
Yeah, the enjoyment I get out of SIFU is overcoming the difficulty.
And if they put a hard mode on it, like a game plus, new game plus, like I did with God of War, the new God of War.
Yeah.
I played through it on new game plus on the hardest difficulty, one hit mode. Let's go. I'm a bludgeon for that, but I'll do it again. I don't care. I enjoyed it.
Also, now I need to get the platinum before the easy mode comes out. Else, how am I going to prove I didn't do it on easy?
I'm pretty sure platinums would probably be locked if they bring out easy mode on it.
If
they do. If they don't, then
if you start the game at age 26, if you choose easy mode, fine, because then you can't get the under 25 completion trophy. The only way I can think of them being able to feasibly do it. I don't think it'd be fair locking out all the trophies. Because some of the trophies you get by accident, like just chucking people around the room. Why shouldn't they get that?
I didn't even know what I was going for until I was like, oh, I unlocked it. What was it? Beat a fat dude before, the rest of them in a pit. And I was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
I went for him because he's the hardest one to beat. Like, you know what I mean? It's just the way it went. But yeah, to be fair, you shouldn't unlock them all, but you should have a block on it.
Yeah. I wouldn't even know how they'd make it easy. Maybe it'd be like auto evade or something.
But, I don't know. Like we said at the beginning of the podcast, we could talk about this all night, but let's wrap it up. Because Carl's gone mightily quiet.
He hasn't got a fucking clue what we're talking about, but he's definitely going to go and buy SIFU now.
Yeah, I'll play SIFU. I've agreed. I'll give it a try. I was just wondering where the whole difficulty rant came from, because I don't ever see it as a problem. If you want to play an easy, play an easy. If you want to play in hard mode, play in hard mode. I don't think they're ever going to get to a point where they start taking really difficult games off the market because there's a demand for them. People like Souls-based difficulty games, so they're not.
I agree with games.
Let's make it easy.
I agree if it's a game with a story. But SIFU is literally Kill Bill.
If it's got no story, and it's come out as a hard game,
but
don't buy it thinking, why is it not easier?
What harm is there adding difficulty to SIFU? You're already on a set difficulty. You can make it harder. You can make it easier. Surely you guys, if anything, would want to make it harder.
Well, yeah.
What's the issue with that? What's the problem?
Yeah, I'd argue against a hard mode for SIFU. I think it's balanced perfectly. It's balanced so well. If you know when to dodge, when to parry, and when to attack, you can beat the game. If you haven't learnt that yet, if you haven't figured out the boss mechanics, if you haven't figured out the boss's animations, then you just keep dying until you figure it out, and then you can do it. That's how you get through the game. You get your ass kicked, you learn, you go back, you apply what you've learned, and you beat them.
Yeah, but
I don't think an easy mode fits into that.
Isn't too bad.
Yeah, but it's 5 levels.
Yeah, but imagine an easy mode where you didn't have to learn the things and you decided, oh, you know what, I might play it on the normal difficulty. Wait a minute, they didn't have all of this sort of techniques and stuff. It's like Kingdom Hearts. If you play it on the hardest difficulty on Kingdom Hearts, they've got new techniques that you wouldn't have seen before.
Yeah. Exactly. No, I see both points of it. Anyway, my second closing comment, Skate 4.
Skate 4. Skate 4.
EAC, Andrew Wilson spoke earlier this week during his call. He said it's coming soon. As in, we might see it this year, we might not, but Skate 4.
Skate 4. I like Skate. Can't skate, but I like Skate.
Yeah, that's my closing comment. Buy Skate 4 when it comes out.
Alright, I'll make mine quick because we literally just spoke about it, but yeah, SIFU. SIFU always. SIFU is life.
Get good, yeah. Get good.
SIFU until the 18th of February.
Yeah, that's the one then. Horizon all the
way. Alright then. We'll wrap it up there then, gents. Thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Have a good evening. Yep. Have a good week. We will try and broadcast this on time next week on a Wednesday, unless one of us can't make it.
I think I'm off Wednesday, so
Fabulous.
man, just please let me off.
All right then. Thank you very much, gents. I will speak to you both soon.
Yep.
Ciao. Have a good night. Have a good week.
Bye.